spicy very much, so I might have to take the bullet and act like a man and do the spicy part and she'll get the regular part. Then we got our chicken here already, and we're going to put both of those in the oven and see you on the other side. Alright, thank you for joining me for another kind of quick fire, as I like to do every other, you know, not every other week, but every week I try to do it. I like to do a more serious kind of put together show, and then this one's just a quick little thing. Usually a home chef, not sponsored by them at all. We just love them, we like to do them, so not sponsored yet. And this week it is a Mojito rubbed, bone-in, skin-on chicken breast with a creamy elotes gratin. And I'm pretty sure elotes is corn. Don't quote me on that. So I have a saute pan over here getting hot. We're going to come down here and do our first ingredients. It shouldn't take very long, and we'll get this dish done in no time. I don't know what that was. That wasn't very cool. So down here we got all of our ingredients. Some crispy jalapenos. We got some cream, the rub, the Mojito rub, lime, a red onion, corn kernels, and some shredded cheese. And over here we have the two breast-in, bone-in, skin-on chicken breast. And we're going to start with doing this onion. So as always, take off both sides, cut it in half, get rid of that skin. Remember your pinch grip. And then we're going to come back and dice it. And I'm going to take this time to ask you, hopefully, you know, my sound is getting better. I'm learning these videos as I go along. The original videos, I think, it might have been the program I was using, but now I have a straight up just shotgun mic on top of this camera, and I'm hoping the audio is better. I think I also need to learn how not to just yell and kind of just talk to myself quieter, because I think going back some of the audio was a little bit too loud, because I think I need to get way louder than I need to. So dice this, as always, pulling towards yourself in almost a C shape as opposed to trying to push that way. Let the knife do all the work. That. Then we're doing the same thing on top. Remember, starting out back behind it and pulling through like that. Let the knife do all the work. Pinch grip lightly like that. Then we're going to come back this way. I'm going to go from this to this and lightly go that way. And this is kind of that locomotion, like always. That, yeah. Looking good. Looking real good. So I put down some talking points on here because I was trying to figure out how to bridge that gap, because I'm not very good at just witty banter out of the gate. So we are starting to paint our bedroom, so that's going to be really neat to try and go to work and come home and knock that out and hopefully aerate our bedroom before we try to go to sleep, so we don't find two passed out people. You know, the fire trucks come busting in as two passed out people have passed out from the paint fumes in our bedroom. But that'll be fun. Haven't picked the color yet, so that'll be about a 3-week process, right? I mean, that's how it goes. And now we're just going to do our lemon. So left, right, take those little ends off, and then go from the top to the bottom. Going towards yourself. And like that, stand up tall. So now you've gotten rid of those wobbly round edges like that. And pull like that. And I prefer to kind of do it from the middle out, which I've just gone against my going on the flat thing, but this way I can easily kind of see the segments like that. We're just going to use it for squeezing, so it doesn't need to be pretty for the presentation purposes. Even though I think they did put a picture of it right here. Yeah, you see it like out of focus in the back right there. Like you're just going to put two things of lime wedges in the background. So we got our onions and our limes, and that's really the only knife work we need to do here. Now we just need to go over there and get this chicken seared off and get that seasoning on it before we put it in the oven. So we've put our oil in. we've let that oil also get hot too. I think one of the biggest mistakes that people might make sometimes in the kitchen is they'll put the oil in and then immediately the food right after. You may hear me say this a lot. I think it's just something nice to drive home so that people understand what I mean. You want it to get so that the oil itself is hot as well, because putting food into a hot pan with cold oil doesn't do anything for you. And if you can see, it kind of gets more of a water consistency, and this is that nice middle spot between cold oil and absolutely burning hot, actual smoking oil. So I have my chicken breasts now. They have been cleaned, patted dry, and I've just added salt and pepper to them. I'm going to put these skin side down in the pan, and I'm going to put the seasoning on top whenever I have. When I'm off camera and kind of waiting for the chicken to cook and all that stuff, I'm always just kind of like playing games on the Fire Stick. That way I'm not so like just caught up in staring at this stuff while it cooks, kind of keep my mind a little bit at ease or whatever. So I always think it's nice to have a little something on the side to be paying attention to, talking to someone or something like that while you're doing this. So we've cooked this chicken now, so it gets a nice brown color on the top where the skin is. I'm going to go ahead and add the seasoning now to the top as well. I think they want you to do a little bit more on the top than the bottom, so you get that nice presentation side. Plus it'll bake in and kind of like soak in a little bit to the bottom. So I'm going to go a little bit nuts with it on this, and then it'll get nice and cooked in with the skin. And we're going to transfer it to a pan I have off camera, and we're going to put it into the oven. So to save space and time and quite honestly headaches for, headaches for doing dishes later, I have cleaned out the pan that I had the chicken in originally. The chicken is now in a dish over here. So we can use the same pan now to do what we have called a gratin. So we're going to start off with the onions. The onions need to go for about 3 to 5 minutes, and at that point we're going to add the corn and then half the cheese, and I'm going to go ahead and squirt 2 of these guys into it to get some of that flavor going. The onions will sweat a little bit, so add our corn. We're going to let this corn get a little bit of color on it, if I can get all of it out of the container. Toss that a couple times. Let that sit in there for a little bit. Then we'll add half of our cheese and the squirts of lime, and we got to top it with the crispy jalapenos, and we're there. So I completely forgot that one of the main ingredients, the cream, obviously it's a gratin. How you gonna make a gratin without a cream? We need to put that in now. So let's salt and pepper first, and then add our cream, and then our cheese. I'm going to let that cream come up first, then we'll add the cheese afterwards. So my cream is up at a nice low simmer, not too hot, so that when we drop this cheese in, it won't break the whole thing we've been working towards this whole time. Actually, speaking of which, let me do this lime first. Just a little bit in there. Let that incorporate. Incorporate. What a $5 word I just came up with. And then we're going to do half of our cheese. Let that kind of get in there and melt a little bit. And we'll just transfer it to our pan over here. Let's go ahead and spray out this pan before the battery apparently dies on this bad boy. We're going to spray our pan. I'm going to drop in our nice mixture of cheese, corn, and the lime with the red onion, and put that into this casserole dish, if you will. It is not a lot. I got a really big pan, or a really big dish for nothing, but we'll make it work. So put these like that, and then we're going to put our crispy jalapenos. I think I'm gonna do them on half because she doesn't really do spicy very much, so I might have to take the bullet and act like a man and do the spicy part, and she'll get the regular part. Then we got our chicken here already, and we're gonna put both of those in the oven and see you on the other side. Completely forgot I'm supposed to put cheese on top of this, so now we'll see you on the other side. They're being quiet back there because I'm plating right now. But that's chicken and the casserole. She actually took a part in it. She put it into the oven for me. I cooked half of it today and we finished it over here tonight. Give it a taste. Do the chicken. They call it Mojito chicken, but with that flavor, it should be called Whoa-hito chicken. No, seriously, it's good. And that corn gratin is actually really good too. So, thank you for joining me for another quick fire one. If you haven't checked out the other stuff I do during the week, please do. And we'll see you again next week.